That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, James Gunn taking over the DCU and becoming the new CEO with his partner, Peter Safran, the CEO of DC, now for the first time ever, DC having its own dedicated studio. They're getting the same treatment that Marvel got from Disney. Remember, all the DC films before were made under Warner Brothers. They didn't have their own specific film division. Now they do. And their first new head is James Gunn and Peter Safran. And right now, the whole world is James Gunn's oyster. Because between the trailer for Superman, which became the 5th highest viewed trailer in the first 24 hours in the history of trailers, and aside from a small vocal corner of the fandom, en masse, the world seemed to love the new Superman trailer. So good on him. Creature Commandos, which I think is okay. Again, I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I'm not in love with Creature Commandos, to be honest with you, but everybody else in the world seems to be. So that's another big win for James Gunn. The big announcement came out yesterday. Jason Momoa officially confirms that he's going to be Lobo in the new DCU. Everybody likes that. We've kind of been speculating about that for almost 2 years now. Everybody liked that announcement. So right now, everything's kind of going for James Gunn and momentum. But then a piece of news came out the other day. I don't know if you saw this, but a report started going around that the new Batman movie, not Matt Reeves' Batman, but the DCU Batman movie, Brave and the Bold, was delayed. Have you heard this? That Brave and the Bold was delayed. Now, I gotta say, when I first heard that report, it was a little confusing to me because I went, did I miss something? Did they ever announce a release date for Batman Brave and the Bold? I don't think they did. How can one delay a Brave and the Bold movie that was never given a release date yet in the first place? Like I could tell you, hey, listen, I'm planning on buying a new house. Me and Ann are planning on buying a new house. We're not, by the way. We love our house. But I'm just saying, if Ann and I was like, hey, Ann and I are planning on buying a new house. And whenever we do, I'm going to invite you to the housewarming party. Well, when is this housewarming party? Well, we don't know. We don't know when we're getting the house, but at some point we're going to get a new house. And when we do, you'll be invited to the housewarming party. You could then not come up to me next week and say, hey, is the housewarming party delayed? How could the housewarming party, which never had a date, be delayed? That was just what went through my head, right? That's just what went through my head when I heard this report going around that Brave and the Bold had been delayed. Well, that same report got to the ears of James Gunn, and James Gunn is saying, no, Brave and the Bold isn't delayed. This is what he said. This comes to us from Batman News, where it says this: it seems that the Brave and the Bold isn't delayed after all, according to DC Studios co-chair James Gunn. As Christmas week drew to a close, Andy Muschietti, who of course directed the Flash movie and was pegged to be the director of Brave and the Bold, Andy Muschietti appeared on the California Secreta, I'm not familiar with the podcast, and said that the Brave and the Bold was delayed. According to a translation from Collider, Muschietti said of the upcoming project, I'm now writing a science fiction movie that I would like to do. Batman is a project that's been postponed a bit, so there could be another film before that, possibly that one. James Gunn was asked about that on social media and replied that he didn't know anything about it. Brave and the Bold, this is coming from the CEO of DC, Brave and the Bold hasn't been delayed, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay. Let's take a look at this. So first of all, Brave and the Bold is not delayed. All right. James Gunn's come out and said it's not delayed. Okay. So then why would the guy that James Gunn picked to be the director of Brave and the Bold come out and say that Brave and the Bold has been delayed? That's a very good question. Here's my theory, okay? This is my theory. I might be right. I might be wrong. You tell me what you think about this, okay? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Miracle Made. Guys, it's hot outside and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. There are just so many things that make these sheets so fantastic. We already mentioned the self-cooling properties for better quality sleep, but they're also self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. So go to trymiracle.com/Campea. That's TRYMIRACLE.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Here's my theory. I do not believe Andy Muschietti is writing Brave and the Bold. Okay? I don't think he's the one writing it. And remember, James Gunn has said we're not announcing any release dates for anything until we have a completed, finished script. Remember? He talked about that a couple of weeks ago. We mentioned it on the show. So James Gunn has said we are not announcing any release dates for movies that we do not have completed, finished, ready to go scripts in our hands. I bet Marvel wish they did that with Blade. Still, it's a very, very good philosophy for them to have. And I don't believe Andy Muschietti is writing Brave and the Bold. I think there's another writer doing Brave and the Bold. Andy Muschietti will be directing. So here's my take on it. My guess is, and again, it's just a guess, is that maybe Muschietti thought the script would have been done already at this point. And maybe him seeing that it's taking a little bit longer than he thought for the script to get completed, like totally complete, locked, and have James Gunn approve it. He's been like, oh, maybe I've got more time than I thought. I'll start writing something else while I'm waiting for this. I want to go back to specifically what Muschietti said. His specific words were, I'm now writing a science fiction movie that I like to do. The Batman project that's been postponed a bit. So to me, because clearly James Gunn didn't say it's postponed. He said, no, it's not delayed. Again, how can you delay something that doesn't have a release date? That makes no sense. So my guess is that in Muschietti's mind, it's just taking a little longer getting the script than he thought it would. So he thought, it's been postponed a bit, so I'm writing something else. I think it's probably as simple as that. I could be wrong, but I think it's something as simple as that. And that's probably it. Now, still, if it's not something as simple as that, I think this is something James Gunn needs to get under control. I'm not saying Andy Muschietti spoke out of turn. Like, if that's Andy Muschietti's perception of the situation, he goes, it's just taking longer than I thought. And maybe that's just how we remember. English is not Andy's first language, right? Just remember that. I don't believe, I could be wrong about it, but I'm pretty sure English is not Andy Muschietti's first language. So maybe it's just lost in translation a bit. But I don't think there's anything wrong with Andy Muschietti saying, if it's just taking a little bit longer than he thought to use the words, it's been postponed a bit. I'm writing something else right now just while I'm waiting. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But from James Gunn's perspective, I think James Gunn, as the head of the studio, has to make sure there's more clear communication about everything that's going on and every step of the process that they're in between him and his filmmakers. And that's what Andy Muschietti is. He's one of his filmmakers. And so, again, I think this is much ado about nothing, to be honest with you. But again, I think this is a little bit of a sign. Hey, James, you need to make sure the lines of communication are clear and open with your filmmakers all the time so that little things like this don't happen and confuse some people. Because I think a lot of people got a little bit confused and concerned when they saw, oh, it's been delayed. It hasn't been delayed because there was never a release date in the first place. But again, I think this is just a sign that they need to have more clear communication. Now, I saw somebody in the live chat asking me if I think they already have their Batman cast. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure that, here's my guess. My guess is they've already got their Batman cast. You guys got to remember, when the internet exploded at the announcement that Ben Affleck was going to be Batman. And I remember me and John Schnepp did a live stream 5 minutes after the announcement, and I feel like we were the only people on the internet who were saying this is a good move, and it was. Casting Ben Affleck as Batman was great. Any problems that happened in the DCEU, none of those problems was Ben Affleck as Batman. That being said, when they announced Ben Affleck was Batman, remember, later we found out, Ben Affleck revealed later on that it had literally been 6 months since he had been cast as Batman. Like he was cast as Batman, and then it wasn't for another 6 months that they made the announcement. I do guess that they do have their new Batman. I have no idea who it is. Like, not a clue. No, I don't even have the slightest guess as to who the new Batman is going to be. But my guess is it's already cast. It may not be, but my guess is it is. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about all this? There's that report going around that Brave and the Bold have been delayed, but the CEO of Disney's come out and said, or Disney, the CEO of DC has come out and said, no, it's not delayed. Anyway, what do you make of all that? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.